guys, I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo23. Now, I've always been a Tokyo Marui fan. They are kind of hard to find nowadays, but they are overall good quality. So, overall, they do not disappoint when they bring you the FN57. Now, the Marui FN57 comes in a pretty standard styrofoam box. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it gets the job done for shipping pretty much. Now, this Marui FN57 is one of Crazyncman's personal guns. He's sending it around the country for reviewing, testing, and all that other good stuff. You can check it out at skirmishreport.com. Now, the first thing I noticed when I pulled the Marui FN57 out of the box is how compact it is. It's actually relatively small for an airsoft gas pistol. It does have a pretty big pistol grip, but the upper portion of the gun is a little smaller than most. Now, the size is perfect for one of these holsters. It's a Condor leg holster, and it just fits really nicely in here. Even though it is a pretty long pistol, it does have this light on here, so it makes it a little fatter on the front. It's just overall a pretty good size considering. Fits great in the holster. Even though the magazines are pretty big, it's still going to fit in the little magazine slot right here, so that works out pretty well. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I do not like the feel of the Marui FN57 at all. It's just not my kind of gun. If I were to pick an airsoft gas pistol, I would personally go with either a Desert Eagle 1911 or a USP. The 5.7 just does not do it for me. I just am personally not really influenced by the design of it or the feel. But that's just me. A lot of people love the design. Now, apart from the size of this thing when I first picked it up out of the box, you gotta have fun with the light. I mean, yeah, I know, it's not that bright. If you're going in a CQB environment or something and you got a little light like this might just do it. Blind your enemy for a second, pop pop, he's down. Now, the gun came with 2 magazines. I know it doesn't come stock with 2 mags, but someone along the way threw an extra one in there. One of them was leaking pretty bad, but the other one works just fine. I'm using green gas in it right now. It's shooting pretty consistently. You can get about 2 mags of BBs out of it for every single fill of gas, so that's a good deal right there for the mags. Now, the magazine itself does put about half the weight on the gun because the entire gun is either plastic or polycarbonate of some kind. It's actually a pretty light gun overall. The magazine is just a good pound and a half. It's a pretty hefty little guy. Now, if you can find spare mags, I really recommend getting them. This is one of those guns where you gotta be popping through mags every 2 seconds. It's just that kind of gun. Now, I think my least favorite things about this gun are mainly the trigger. I don't like the trigger spring behind it. It's a weird feeling for me. And the trigger itself, it's large and bulky, and my fingers just don't seem to like it at all. But that's just my take on it. If you're wearing gloves, I'm sure it works really well. Now, the safety for me was in kind of an odd place. I usually like to have it somewhere where my thumb can get it up here. It's really in a place where your index finger can get it. So I like having the safety where my thumb can get it. This one, your index finger has to get it, or you can use the other hand to flip it off, but it's really a matter of convenience there. I'm just not a fan of it. The mag release on the left side of the gun is, just in my opinion, a little high up. It's just the design of the gun overall really does not fit my needs. It's a little high up, it's kind of hard to reach, but what I did like is the extra large mag catch. This thing is really easy to hit with your thumb. Once you're out, you can just snap it with your thumb, mag falls right out, smack another one in, good to go. Now, apart from all that, there was a little bit of actual slide wobble. The slide does wobble back and forth a little bit, so I'm really not a fan of that. It just got on my nerves a lot. And you can see this thing does wobble a pretty significant amount. I know it's made of plastic, but it's just a gripe of mine. Now let's quickly check and see what the FN57 is shooting. I only use .25 gram rounds when I chrono just because that's pretty much all I use in pistols and assault rifles on the field. So when I'm chronoing with .2s, it doesn't give me an accurate number. I want to see what it's shooting on the field when I'm playing. So this chrono test is with .25s. Now, if you want to get the FPS with .2s of that, you can add about 30 or 40 FPS to get the average. So this gun is shooting about 300 to 320 with .2 gram rounds. So I apologize. I didn't have anyone there when I tried this thing out on the field to videotape it, so we're not going to have any video of any kind of skirmishing or anything, so my apologies for that. But there was no one there, I had to try it solo. This thing performed surprisingly well. Tokyo Marui really does not let down. Now, I was hitting targets at a pretty decent range with 2.5s, it was maintaining a good FPS, hop-up wasn't too screwy or anything. Now, Tokyo Marui guns can be pretty expensive. I know this thing probably runs upwards of at least $180-200 minimum. Plus extra mags are going to cost you about another $30 or $40, so this thing is going to be an expensive little guy if you want to go buy it. But I would say if you really want a gas pistol that does not let down performance-wise, go for it. Tokyo Marui makes durable pistols, they work really well, and you just can't go around the fact that they're durable and they work well. This is just not the gun for me. It's good, but not for me. Now be sure to check out Merc's Airsoft, Ender 007, and Mil-Spec Junkie for their reviews and their takes on this little guy. Overall, it's pretty good. I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo23, signing off.